a lot of people so that's why I want to ask you about like the whole psychedelics, because a lot of people have said, like, depending on what they do, like, so mushrooms, ayahuasca, whatever it is, like, I think like Mike Tyson's like one of the more famous cases where he said like it opened up, and Joe Rogan I think also said is like it opened up everything. It's like puts you in perspective. Like Mike Tyson was the baddest dude on the planet for many years, and he said when he had his vision quest or many vision quests, he realized he actually wasn't anything. Like it broke him down so much and told him all his flaws and like how he had to change things. Who else was it that was like, I was actually one of my friends, it wasn't even on a podcast. He was telling me like he went on a vision quest, like, or on ayahuasca, or, you know.
Vision quest is just a big dose basically, or
it's like, know that. It's just they call like a vision quest is basically, I think they call a vision quest like you go on ayahuasca or toad. I don't know if it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing?
Toad, there are different types of toad.
Okay.
Well, you've got the purging, which is called Cambo, which is not a psychedelic. It's just a cleansing toxin, let's call it.
Okay.
That you kind of just put into the skin, the second layer of the skin, and it detoxifies the body. Then you've got the Sonora Desert toad, which is called the Bufal varius, which is the toad that comes from the Sonora Desert, and it secretes a toxin on its back.
That's the famous one, I think, right?
That you smoke.
Oh, you smoke it?
You smoke it, and you have it's the most powerful, it's 5-MeO-DMT. It's the most powerful psychedelic known to man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that the one that do both have to be administered by a shaman or?
A facilitator, but a knowledgeable one, because it's highly toxic.
And do they close you like in a room so that
no,
you don't freak out or anything, right?
No. With this, it's like DMT. You're not here. You leave your body.
Okay.
You go somewhere completely different. With mushrooms to a certain degree, but mushrooms, you're still kind of here. You're still kind of grounded to an extent. Whereas with that, you kind of just
in a different dimension.
Completely.
Seeing that's why they call it a vision quest, because I think it opened. A lot of people do it for that. So like they do it because maybe they want to figure out something, or they want to get like more understanding of their life, the meaning of life, you know, whatever it is.
So what it does is it's kind of like, I always say you have to you form a relationship with these medicines, because what they really do is they move all the shit out the way that's going on in your head and your mind, because your mind is what causes you everything. It's what causes you all your suffering. I mean, we're talking about Buddhism. We're talking about oldest religions in the world, Taoism, all that stuff always went down to a state of mind. You know, a state of mind is equilibrium, it's peace, it's balance, it's the Tao. And in our lives, especially in our society where everything is so dopamine derived and everything is high intensity and success and failure and media and noise and all this stuff, our dopamine levels are completely out of whack, you know, from when we're kids, you know?
100%, yeah.
And of course, what you watch, what you're exposed to, everything is high pressure, because we need to be a certain way. We need to conform to a certain thing. We need to have certain stuff. And all of that causes a lot of unnecessary stress and overthinking, you know? So a lot of sicknesses are manifested through the mind. You know, the body follows the mind follows the body. They're very much closely related. And that is why stress causes cancer, you know, and a lot of other ailments. Whereas there's studies now going on that you can cure a lot of physical ailments and diseases just with meditation and control of your mind, you know? So psychedelics, what they do is they deactivate a part of your brain, because what I also like about it, I like to know the science of it as opposed to just the spiritual side of it all.
Yeah.
You know, there's a very clear-cut scientific evidence besides quantum physics, which is a whole other thing, you know, where neuroscience shows that it shuts down a part of the brain that separates you from everything, that forms the ego, the identity, which is called the default network. So once the default network is shut down for several hours, which is what happens when you go into this trip, into this experience, all the other parts of the brain and consciousness and the mind kind of start to come out together, but without the separation. So essentially you can be thinking about someone or seeing something, and you could be looking, if you're in a forest or you're outside in nature, you feel connected to everything, because that part of your brain that tells you you're separated is almost deactivated, you know, for a period of time. And that is when you can have this experience of like empathy and, you know, wanting to do something better, and also feeling like you don't need to have this identity that you're kind of holding on to so tightly, you know, and then you can almost just relax and start to see a lighter side of life.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip, I've got another one for you over here and over here. Please don't forget to subscribe over here and have a look at my other socials down in the description box below. Thanks for watching.